So today there is one interesting concept that we are going to learn, what is known as block scope. Okay. So what is meant by block scope? Before we understand what is meant by block scope, let's understand what is known as a global scope. Okay. Global scope. Let me go ahead and let me try to open the Visual Studio Code, and inside that I'll just open a simple. I'll use a boilerplate, okay? Exclamation followed by tab key. That will create a boilerplate, which is a template for HTML. And this is a file which is index.html, okay? Inside that, I'm going to, maybe in the head section, I'm going to add a script called a script tag, okay? So now, you guys know that script tag is, whenever we add a script tag, we call this as internal CSS, internal JavaScript, okay? So by using a script tag, here I'm going to write certain code. All right. Now, before I jump into writing a code, I want to talk about something known as global scope. So global scope is a variable that you are declaring, like for example, var price is equal to 88. Okay. Now, simple. What does this means? It means that you are using a var keyword, and price is a variable name or an identifier for a variable, and you are assigning a value of 88, which means in your entire program of JavaScript, the value of var, that is price, will remain 88 until you modify it. Okay. So this is called as a global scope. All right. So now, for example, let's say there is a function that I am defining. There is a function. We'll come to that function later, but now just try to understand what I'm trying to do here. There is a function which says add num, and it is expecting no parameters. It open and close curly brackets. Inside that, I'm going to give what is known as variables. I'm defining. Let's say the variables are um, yeah, let's say the variables, I'll say var num1 is equal to 1 2, and then var num2 is equal to 3 4. Okay. Now I'm going to give I'm returning a value called num1 plus num2. All right, a simple function, and here I'm going to call the function. That's it. A function call is going to happen. So here, just try to understand. Now this variable which is declared has a global scope. I can use the same variable inside here as well. I can say, now I want to return, let's say, num1 plus num2, and I want to have another var, let's say, square price. Square price is equal to price into price. So here, the price which is declared outside of the function can still be used inside the function, which is price. Price into price will still be 88 because this has a global scope. Okay. Whatever the variables that are declared inside the function are called as, which are declared inside the function, these are the functional scope. Now, let's understand an important concept now, what is known as block scope, and how is it different from other sort of scopes, which means we'll take with certain example and I'll show you how they are different. Okay, but before that, we'll see what the block scope is. There are two scopes, global scope and functional scope. Fine. The block scope the block is always specified in JavaScript by curly brackets. Open and close curly brackets. Within this, whatever the code you write is called a block scope. Okay, so which is called as a block. Simple. If you have any code written inside the curly bracket, that is called as a block. So even in this case, this is still a block because it is a curly bracket and this is a curly bracket open and close. And this is still a function scope, but it's also a block scope because there is a open and close curly brackets. All right. Now, variables declared inside the curly brackets are called as block scope and they cannot be accessed from outside the block. Again, we will see how they are declared again by using a particular keyword. Like if you use a var keyword, there is a different way of interpretation, and if you use a let keyword, there is a different way to interpret it. We'll see those with good examples. But now understand that by year 2015, when ECMAScript 6 was released, they introduced two new keywords, which was let and const. Prior to that, there was only this keyword that was being used to declare a variable, which was var. Okay, but after 2015, let and const came into picture. This variables defined with let or const have a block scope. I mean, just concentrate here that if you define a variable with let or with const, they will be having a block scope. We'll see that. What does that mean? And then variables declared with var cannot have a block scope. These are the two distinctions. Variables which are declared with let and const have a block scope, whereas variables declared with var do not have a block scope. So in order to understand this, what I want is, let me go ahead and try to give certain examples here. Okay, let me open a simple program. Let's say rather than adding a script, I will add script colon src, which is basically I'm adding a source here. All right, let's say script, and then I'm adding a source might be, let's say I'm adding an external css, guys. That's it. I'm adding a script file. Inside the script file, let me add let's say main.javascript. Okay, this is the file I'm going to refer to. Now let me open inside the script. There is a file called main.js. So I'm going to use this particular file. I'll just clear this off before I go ahead and start it. I'll comment this out, or let me clear this off. All right. So what this program now contains, guys, it just contains a JavaScript tag, which is having an external file called main.javascript, which is this file. All right. Now, let me go ahead and add a certain code here. Let's say I'm going to add what I want to substantiate this. What does this mean? Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's say I have a var and I want to create goals. Okay, goals. There is a variable that I am creating with a value called 3. All right. So var, which has created a variable called goals equal to 3, and then I'm going to create a block. Block is nothing but anything that has a curly brackets, anything that goes within the curly brackets. This is a block. And then inside the block, I'm going to say var goals is equal to 2. Now, coming back to this, what it says, variables declared with var cannot have block scope. Now, what happens if I go ahead and print console.log goals, and the same I'm going to print within the scope. Now, can anyone tell me what will be the output for these two statements? Okay, the very first statement is console.log. I am printing the goal, and then inside the curly brackets, I am again printing goal. So now, can someone tell me what will be the output of these two?
3 and 2.
Yeah, 3 and 2. That's correct. So if I go ahead and run this, okay, open with live server, and that is going to open it here. Yeah, it has opened. And now if I go ahead and check the console log inside the developer tools, and yeah, this is the output 3 and 2. Okay, that is straightforward. Why? Because variables declared with var do not have a block scope. Now suppose I'll keep this and just change this. Okay, what will be the output now? Can anyone tell me? Let const, I have a let variable. It is opened up here. I have given the value here, and then I have redeclared here. And what will happen now? Okay, there will not be any change here. It will not be having any change, but there is slight difference that I'm going to do now. Let's see that. Now I have added goals is equal to 3. All right. This is let 3 goals, and then I have added this one here. And now I'm going to go ahead and update. So there is something that I have did. Here I have declared a variable and I have declared it as 3. Then I'm printing that value, and there is a block here that has opened up. Here again the goal is declared, and it is having a value of 2, and it is printing. And now there is a goal variable inside the curly brackets, and now I'm going to change it to 4. Now can anyone tell me what will be the output of this?
3, sir.
No, total outputs, because there are three console logs output, right?
3,
One,
2, 3.
three, two,
3.
and
3.
three. That's correct. So here, if you observe here, let me go ahead and refresh it. Now let's see what happened here. Three, two, and four. Now let's understand this. What happened? Always remember that if you have declared with a let outside the curly brackets, which means this will become a global variable, and here you can go ahead and modify it. The moment you modify it, which means you are redeclaring it. Okay, if you are redeclaring it, the value will be within this scope, within the curly bracket scope. Okay, but because I have not redeclared here, if I had redeclared it, like for example, if I had said let, then this would have been a different value. Okay, had I redeclared let goals, let goals is equal to this, it would have been a different value. Let's go ahead and see here. Where is that? Yeah, now what is happening? Let, this is 3, and here I am printing, and let me go ahead and add here as well. and then I'm printing here as well. Yeah, now things would have been different, because here I'm redeclaring it, declaring and printing it, which is 3, and here I'm redeclaring it, okay, which means the scope is within, because let is a keyword which has a block scope, which means the scope will be within this. And again I am redeclaring the let here, this will also have the block scope, and here it will not having any block, then it will going to print 3 here. 3 2 4 3, 3 2 4 3. Okay, so now what I'm trying to say to you is that if you don't redeclare, in this case you are not redeclaring it, you are just reassigning a value. If you are not declaring within the block, it will take the global variable, which is in this case, which is defined here. So it will, initially it will be 3, and then it will be this variable is reassigned a value of 4, then this will be printing 4 here. But here it will again, because you have redeclared it. Now just observe this, case. 3 2 4 4. Now here it is not going to take this value, it's not going to take this value, because you have reassigned the original declaration outside the block. This only you have updated. Initially it was 3, then it entered the block here, the block again up, you redeclared it. Let goals, it's a different variable, you have printed 2 here. It will come here, you are not redeclaring it, which means you are taking the global variable, you are reassigning now from 3 to 4. So this will hold a value of this global variable is holding the value of 4, and again you are printing here globally because it's outside the block. Okay, here it is outside the block, and this is another block, and this is another block, and this will again hold the value of 4. So key aspect here is, if you redeclare within the block, is fine with let, it will reassign the value. But that is not the case with var in other 3. It doesn't have a block scope, which means if I go ahead and put var here and var here, yeah, that's it. Here it will take 3, it will print 3. Next again it will enter here, it will be having a reassigned value of 2, it will print 2 here. Okay, and then it will come here, the value is again reassigned it to 4, it will print 4 here, and it will come out, it will print 4 here. Okay, so that is what it is going to print, 3 2 4 4. Okay, if I had not redeclared, if I had not reassigned a value here, what will happen? Nothing is there, just within the block I'm printing one more time. So initially it will be 3, then it will be assigning the value of 2, then it will come here, it will still print 2, and here also it will still print 2 outside the block. Okay, so 3 2 2 2, 3 2 2 2. Okay, but when you are using a let, then that will be a different game. Now idroga it is just I'll make a change here, let, and then I'm going to make it as a let. That's it. I'm using a let instead of var, because let has a block scope. What it will do, this will be treated as a global variable because it is not having any block. So it will be taken as a value 3. So 3 will be printed. It will come here. It will reassign. It will again. It will declare redeclaring. Redeclaration is happening here. So it will assign a value 2 here. 2 will be printed, because this is another block, it comes out of the block, which means it will take the value of 3. Okay, so here it will try to see nothing is there, no global, no block variable is defined for goals. So in this case it will take the global variable, which is 3, and then it will also print 3 3 2 3 3. Okay, 3 2 3 3. So are you able to understand this, guys? So
Yes, sir.
yeah, you're able to follow this, right? Yeah, good. So this is about, and the same is the case with const as well. Const also is same. You are having a const here, and you are assigning a value 3. Here also you have a const. You can assign a value of 2. But Here you don't have to give anything. Here also you don't have to give anything, because const is a block scope. It is go ahead and print 3233, which is also same as let. Okay, but if you use this, and now if you're trying to use rolls is equal to 4, here this is not going to happen, because const, you cannot reassign a value, because const is always constant. You cannot give another value. This will throw an error. Okay, this will throw some kind of an error, because you are trying to use what you are trying to give another value to it. Like for example, uh, another value you are trying to say, you have used the const and trying to use it. Now this will throw an error. Okay, so what it says, uncaught syntax error, identifier goals has already been declared. So you cannot redeclare it again, because whenever you are using a const to define or declare a variable, you cannot redeclare a variable. I mean, that is a straightforward. All right. Now, this is what we saw here. Variables defined with let and const cannot be redeclared in the same block. Okay, you cannot redeclare in the same block, which is inside the curly bracket. And redeclaring a variable with let in another block is allowed. That is what we did. We have declared here, and we have redeclared in a different block. Okay, I can go ahead and redeclare in this separate block as well. This is also good enough. This is acceptable, because this is a different block, this is a different block, so that is allowed. Redeclaring a JavaScript variable with var is allowed anywhere in the program. That is also we saw. You can redeclare var using anywhere in the program, because var itself does not have a block scope, so you can go ahead and redeclare anywhere. And redeclaring a variable inside the block using the let keyword will not redeclare the variable outside the block. Okay. So again, that also we saw with the example. So what we are saying is, if you are using a let keyword and try to redeclare, will not redeclare the variable outside the block. You can go ahead and change it, but that doesn't happen to make a change to already declared value. Okay, that is acceptable. What it means is, you have a let keyword here. You can go ahead and use the let keyword here. You can go ahead and use the let keyword here. This is not going to change any value. This is a separate variable. This is a separate variable because of the block. This is a separate variable because of this block. The scope is within this block. The moment it comes and prints here, it is not going to take the 5 value here. It is going to take 3 value, because it is outside these two blocks. This goal is from this value. Okay, so 3 will be printed first, 2 will be printed here, 5 will be printed here. Again, the 3 will be printed here. 3, 2, 5, 3. Okay, 3, 2, 5, 3. This is how it will be getting your outputs. All right. So now, again, there is another thing that we wanted to talk about is, let me go down here, Control L, I'll clear it off. We'll talk about operators. Okay, there are many different operators that JavaScript uses. Okay, so what are the different kinds of operators we have in JavaScript? One is called, okay, arithmetic operators, and then there is another operator called as bitwise operators. Okay, bitwise operators is there, and then there is assignment operators. Okay, this is also another kind of operator that is available in JavaScript. There is a comparison operator. Okay, there is a comparison operator, and there is a logical operator, and then finally there is a conditional operator. Okay, conditional operator. Now let's go ahead and see individually one by one what are these different kinds of operators. In the first place, operators are what? They are the reserved syntax consisting of punctuations or alphanumeric characters like equal to, plus, minus, into symbol, and you have a divide. All those are different kinds of operators that we are going to use in JavaScript. Now let's concentrate on the very first one, which is known as arithmetic operators. Okay, so what are the different kinds of arithmetic operators? The very first one is using plus. Plus is for what? This is called addition operator. So how do you use a addition operator, guys? Addition operator is something like you are doing a plus b. Okay, a plus b is a addition operators. Now a can be what? Let me go ahead and another thing, guys, just to recapitulate here, the two forward slash is a comment in JavaScript. That's the reason these are not executing. These are just the comments that I have written. So now let's see arithmetic operators like 23 plus 1, which will result in 24. Okay, this is arithmetic operators. Or 22, 21 plus 1 plus 2. Okay, 12 plus 1 plus 2 will be 15. Again, these are the addition operators. And then there is a subtraction operator, which is like this, which is a minus symbol. 23 minus 1 is 22. And there is a multiplication operators like 2 into 3 will give you 6, and this is a asterisk symbol. Again, this is a multiplication operator. Or you can go ahead and 10 divided by 2. This forward slash is a division operator. Okay, and now division operator is a true division here. Okay, there is something called as true division, guys. Just to concentrate here, this is called as a true division operator. All right, again, like for example, let's say 12 divided or let's say 22 by 7. Okay, what is this 22 by 7? 22 by 7 is nothing but your pi value, right? This is a division operator which will produce a decimal output. If it is a fraction, then it will produce a decimal output, and if it is a number which is perfectly divisible, it is produces a integer value. All right, and then there is also an operator known as modulus. Okay, modulus is what? It is a remainder. Like for example, let's say 5 modulus, which is nothing but a percentage symbol, 5 modulus 2, which means whenever you divide 5 by 2, which is 2 twos are 4. Okay, 4, if it goes from 5, the remainder is 1. Okay, so this value modulus is nothing but it is a remainder after the division of a by b. Now for example, let's say 9 modulus 2. Can anyone tell me what will be the 9 mod 2?
1.
Yeah, it's true. That is 1. All right. That is how you need to understand the modulus operator. Then there is also known as exponentiation. As the name suggests, exponentiation is a power of, like 2 asterisk asterisk 2, which means 2 to the power 2, which is 4. All right, like for example 3 to the power 3, 3 to the power 3 is 27. Okay, this is exponential operation. And at the same time, there is also an operator known as increment operators. Okay, in increment operators, again, JavaScript has multiple things here. Just to tell you, increment operators are, like for example, increment operators. In increment operators, there is a pre and post increment. Okay, we'll try to understand what is this pre and post. Like for example, let's say if you have plus plus a, which means This is you are incrementing first and then you have a value. This is called a pre-increment. If it is a plus plus, it is post increment. So what it means, if it is pre-increment, plus plus a will return a after adding 1. Okay, what it means is, like, x is equal to 10, all right, and then y is equal to plus plus x. Now, if I recall the value of y, it will be 11. So what is happening here, guys? Just understand this. Let x is equal to 10. So x is holding the value of 10. Now plus plus x, which means it is a pre-increment. Okay, it will increment first and then assign the value to y, which means plus plus x, which means x plus 1 will be 11. It will be incrementing and then assigning the value to the y. But if it is the other case, let's say x is equal to, let x is equal to 10. Okay, and now y is equal to x plus plus. What will happen here? Here x will hold the value still 10. Okay, if you see, x is equal to 10, y is equal to 10, x is equal to 10, no, sorry, x is equal to 10 here, y will be equal to 10. Why? Because in this case, it will first assign the value of x to the variable, which is x value is 10, 10 is assigned to y, and then x is incremented. That is the reason. First, y will be 10 and x will be 11, because this is post increment, which is when you are assigning. Again, we'll come to that when we are talking about assignment operator. For now, just understand that there is something called as post increment and pre-increment. At the same time, there will be minus minus a and a minus minus. Here, this is a decrement. Like the increment operator, there is a decrement operator. Minus minus a is a pre-decrement operator, and here a minus minus is a post decrement operator. Like the way increment, it's the same you are going to observe in decrement operators. All right. And another thing you can say is there is also something known as unary negation. Like, for example, let a is equal to 11. Now I can give a negative a by just adding minus a. Okay, so the minus a is nothing but a unary negation. We call this as a unary negation, whatever the value it is. Let it might be like this, as b is equal to let's say minus 11. Now minus b will be the opposite of it. It will change the sign. From minus 11, it will become the plus 11. All right. This is called as unary negation. All right. Now, this is what we call it as arithmetic operators. All right. There is also something we can call that as a bitwise operators. Bitwise operators is like what, you can say that the addition or the any operation that happens at the bit level, that is binaries. All right. Like, for example, there is an operator called a ampersand b. Okay, a ampersand b is what? Bitwise and operator. All right. There is also something called as a pipe symbol b. This is called as binary bitwise or operator. This is what this can be called as bitwise and. If you have learned about logic gates, you will be able to follow this clearly, because this will all happen at a binary level. This is called bitwise OR operator. There is also bitwise XOR operator as well. You have a symbol called caret symbol, and then b. This is known as bitwise XOR operator. Okay. And also there will be a not operator as well, like for example, negation. This will be a tilde symbol is there. This is known as bitwise not operator. Okay, so these are some of the bitwise operators. Like for example, if I go ahead and give you one example, let's say we are going to talk about 9 and 10. So what will be the value here? 9 bitwise and operator, you are adding a value called 10. So now 9 in binary, how do you write it? 9 in binary will be 1001. This is a binary value of 9. Okay, how do we arrive at it? You divide 9, you divide it by 2. 2 twos are 2 fours are 8, remainder is 1. Then 2 twos are 4, remainder is 1. And again 2 ones are 2, remainder is 0. So that will be 1001. That is how you arrive at this value. So just to let you, let me give you here MS Paint. I'll open it just to show you. Yeah, let me. So here is a 9 and you divide it by 2. When you convert a decimal number into binary, so 2 fours are 8, the remainder is what? 1, because 9 is there, right? And then you want to divide again this by 2. 2 2 twos are 4, 4 goes completely divide, then remainder is 0. Then there is again you divide it, which is 2 ones are 2, the remainder is 0. Then you will take this value from here, which is from here to here. This will be what? 1001. 1001. This is your binary conversion. You have converted your decimal number 9 to a binary value of 1001. That is what it is here. Okay, and then the same way 10, if you convert it to binary, it will be 1010. And now if I am going to add this to, what is this? And operator. 1 plus 1 is what value? If you add 1 plus 0, how do you see the and gate? And gate follows a certain tautology. Tautology is, again, I'll come to that what it is. I'm just giving slightly giving you a basic knowledge of tautology and contradiction. Okay. Now if you have a truth table in logic design, what it has is, if you have an and gate, like if you have a and b are the two input values. Okay, if and then there is a and gate b, what is the value at here? Like if it is 1 and 0, so if 1 and 0, the value of this will be 0. If 1 and 1, the value will be 1. And if it is 1 0 and 1, the value will be 0. And if it is 0 and 0, the value here will be 0. So whenever in the bitwise AND operation, the value will be 1 only when both A and B will have the value of 1. In rest all the cases, it will be 0. This is called the truth table. So the same thing, if 1 and 0, so 1 and 0, the value will be 0. Okay, the value will be 1000. Yeah, the value will be 0. 0 and 1. 0 and 1 is what? 0 and 1, the value will be 0. So hence this will be 0. And then 0 and 0, the value will be 0. When both are 1, the value will be 1. That is the reason 1000 will be the output for this, which is the value of 8. How do we get that 100 is a value of 8? Again, we need to convert that. Like for example, 1000 is a decimal number, is a binary number. You need to convert that into a base 10 number, which is a decimal number. How do you do that? You can do into 2 to the power 0 plus 0 into 2 to the power 1, 0 into 2 to the power 2, then finally this value 1 into 2 to the power 3. Okay, so this will be equal to what? This will be 2 to the power 0 is again 0 plus this will be 0, and 2 to the power 1 is 2 to the power 1 is 2. 2 into 0 will still be 0 plus 0 into 2 to the power 2, which will be 4. 4 into 0 will still be 0 plus 2 to the power 3 will be 8. 8 into 1 is again, you will have the value 8. So 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 will give you 8. This will be your conversion from binary to decimal number. Okay, so how am I getting these values? 0 0 and 0 and 1, these are coming from these values. 1 is this one, 0 is this one, and this 0 is this one, and this 0 is this one. All right, are you able to understand this, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now the same is the case, like if just to tell you, this is one way. And again, if I go ahead and add another value to it, like for example, if I say 9 or 10, okay, this will be 11, because again 9 will be what? 1001 will be 9, and 10 will be what? 10. 10 will be 10 in decimal, and the value of 11 will be 1011. Okay, again this is a OR gate. OR gate has got OR bitwise operator has got its own truth table, and its value will be 0 when both are 0, rest all it will be 1. Okay, that is the reason you are getting this value, which is having a decimal equivalent of 11. Again, I'm not going to go again deep dive into all these, because you can learn it yourself. These are straightforward. And now I will jump on to the another operators, which are known as assignment operators. Okay, assignment operator is a operator which assigns a value to its left operand based on the value that is there on the right operand. What it means is, like for example, let price is equal to 12.25. So now what is this? This is a value and this is a variable, and this is called a operator. This is a assignment operator. In the same way, like for example, let's say let qty is quantity. Let's say quantity is equal to 2. Now total cost is equal to price into quantity. So what you are observing here, guys, first is this assignment of a value to a variable. This is again an assignment operator. Here there is an assignment operator, and here also assignment operator, where you are trying to do what? You are trying to assign the multiplication of these two values to a total cost. Okay, this is a simple equal to is a simple assignment operator. In this there are many things. Okay, there now this can still be very easily simplified into a certain value. Okay, now what we can do, like for example, if you have a plus b. Okay, now if you have a plus b and then you want to assign the same value to a, like for example, a is equal to a plus b. Now this can easily be done using an assignment operator, which is for addition. Okay, add and equal to operator. Like for example, this can easily be yeah, written as a plus equal to b. What it means is, this is same as writing this statement. You are adding a plus b and then assigning the value to a. it is same as writing this a plus equal to b, which means a is equal to a plus b. These two statements are same. Okay, they are just using what is known as addition assignment operator. And there can also be an operator a minus equal to b. This is subtraction. And again, it can be a star equal to b, which is again a multiplication, so on and so forth. You can go ahead and do division, exponentiation, modulus. Okay, again, you can also do in terms of bitwise. Also, you can do in bitwise what you can do: a, okay, a ampersand is for what? And bitwise and you can assign it to b. Okay, this is again an assignment operator using equal to and also and operator. You can operate it on the arithmetic operators and also bitwise operators. All right, this is just a shorthand notation. You can use it for assignment operators. Now, one example I can give you is straightforward. Let's say I'll clear this. Let's say I have let num1 is equal to 22. Okay, and then let num2 is equal to 44. All right, there are two numbers we have declared. All right, now what I want to do is I want to sum it up and show the value. Now, instead of going and creating let total is equal to num1 plus num2, and then I can go ahead and print the total. Instead of that, what I can do, I'll comment this out, and what I can do is num1 plus equal to num2. So what this is doing, this is same as writing what? This is same as writing num1 is equal to num1 plus num2. So instead of creating another variable called total, I can just use these two variables and then I can assign this value. This is using what? This is using an assignment operator, num1 plus equal to num2, which is same as writing this value, which means 22 plus 44, which will be 66, and 66 will be assigned to num1. And then I can go ahead and say console.log, I can say num1, which will be printing the total, which is 66. Okay, so this is another simple way of using a assignment operators. Okay, instead of writing this entire thing, I can just write it as num1 plus equal to num2, which will be the sum of these two will be stored in num1, and that num1 will be displayed as the output. All right, again, this is about assignment operators. Again, there is also something called as comparison operators. Whenever we do a comparison operator, right guys, comparison is always when you are comparing the two values and giving the output as true or false. Always remember, comparison operator is Boolean in nature. It can only give the value true or false. Let's see that with an example. Let's say 2 is equal to 2. What is this? It is giving the value of 12 is equal to 2, which is false. That is the reason it is giving the value of false. If it is 2 is equal to 2, then it will be true. Mind you, what you just seen is a comparison operator which is equal to. Okay, now just understand one important this is very different in JavaScript. Okay, this is very crucial. This what I'm going to say now is very crucial. Okay, just understand, take this here. Let's say 22 is equal to 22. understand this, guys. What is happening? A big blunder here. What's the blunder here? This is a string, okay, because I have put that in a quote. Okay, 22 will become a string, whereas 22 here is what? Integer. But when you are using a equal to operator, it is saying that it is true, which is not right. Okay, so what it means is these two equal to symbols, which is a representation of a comparison operator called equal to, will only compare the values. It won't compare the data types. Okay, this data type is what? String, whereas this data type is integer. Now if you just to show you type of, if I give 22, what it will say? It will say it is a string, whereas just if I enter, this will stay it as a number. So I'm comparing a string against a number which happens to have a same value. That is the reason it is giving a value of true. This is called a equal to operator. Always in JavaScript compares the values and will not compare the data type. In order to strictly compare, we have another operator called strictly equal to, which is 22, 1, 2, 3. 3 times equal to is equal to 22. Now this will say as false, because using of 3 equal to symbol, which is called as strictly equal to, will compare the value. Along with that, it will also compare the data types. So now it is giving the value of false, which is absolutely correct. So whenever you are comparing two values in JavaScript, make sure you use strict equal to rather than just equal to symbol. Thanks, guys.